but fair degree of advances, notable advances. The top loser being MMTC and then its ITI shows you that the extent of the losses is not very, very large. Nilesh Jain, Head of AVP Technical and Derivative Research at Centrum with us on the show. Nilesh, how are you approaching trade this afternoon?
Very good afternoon, Neeraj. Good afternoon, everyone. So today, the kind of recovery that we have seen from the lower levels, specifically in the Bank Nifty, which is trading in a positive reality ahead of the RBI policy. So the sentiment-wise, we have seen a good positive development. Looking at the broader markets as well, where we are witnessing a positive move since the morning. So across a sectorial front, if you see when on the stock specific move, which is in fact giving a positive attraction today. So today the Nifty, if manages to close about 24,700, that will be considered as a positive close, because the 21-day moving average that is exactly placed at 24,695 levels. So a close above the same is required for any possibility of a further up move to continue towards 24,900 to 25,000. So the chances are very high that we may see a positive move from here towards 25,000 in this week itself. Stop loss for the long position should be placed below 24,550. So that's somewhere around today's low. And the Bank Nifty, in fact, which is giving more confidence. And on the upside, we are expecting a new record high in the Bank Nifty spot levels. The levels that we are keeping an eye on would be 56,000. A breakout above that will open upside towards 56,500 to 57,000. So our June target for the Bank Nifty is somewhere around 56,800 to 57,000. Buy and decline should be the strategy. As you have rightly pointed out, the broader markets are in fact showing attraction and outperforming as well. So the focus should be on stocks and sectors.
Okay, Nilesh, your top picks at this point, therefore?
Right, so I have two buy recommendations. First of all, banking, as I've just pointed out, that Bank Nifty is giving more confidence. So Bandhan Bank within that space is something that is giving a good breakout today, a good price and volume breakout, as well as on derivative front as well. We have seen a good build up on the long side as well. So Bandhan Bank can be bought for further up move towards 179, 170 should be the stop loss. And another buy recommendation would be on Indian Hotel. So if you see, this particular stock has witnessed a lot of consolidation in last couple of weeks now. Today it is making an attempt to break that hurdle of 777. So it looks like it is likely to inch closer to 800 marks. So 796 will be our target with a stop loss below 764. Indian Hotel can be bought.
Okay, Nilesh, what piqued my interest is that you're positive with regard to the Nifty Bank. Now, what within the Nifty Bank are you positive on? Do you like PSU banking names? Do you like the private banking names?
See, there is no doubt about it that the PSU banking space, in fact, it moved on Friday. Today, we are witnessing a follow-up move. A good breakout can be seen in the Nifty PSU Bank Index itself. So the kind of move that we have seen is State Bank of India as well. So overall, across all PSU banking space, we have seen a good spurt today. I wanted to add Bank of India and Bank of Baroda as well, but since we have already witnessed some bit of spurt today, I would rather wait for some bit of correction from here. That will give a good risk and reward for a long position. But yes, the Nifty PSU banks are likely to move from here further. So within that space, Bank of India, Bank of Baroda will be a preferred bet, and also State Bank of India as well. That is also looking for a positive move towards 830 to 845 with a stop loss below 800. State Bank of India can be bought.
Okay, so those are some names for you, more on the PSU banking side. Nilesh, what should one make of the rally in Realty we've seen today? Because top sectoral gainer, but from the bottom, the kind of strength it's shown, a very different kind of a chart from the Nifty PSU Bank to a certain extent. We've seen a very strong rally from the bottom.
Absolutely, Harsh. So you have rightly pointed out, Nifty Realty is another sector apart from Nifty PSU Banks where we have seen a good breakout today. If you just pull up last 6-month chart of Nifty Realty Index, as you can see on the chart as well, it has given a good rounding bottom formation technically, and 970 is the current market price. Looks like it is heading towards 1020 to 1030 on the upside. So Realty Index, I think this momentum should continue from here. As long as it trades above 945, the outlook in the Nifty Realty Index looks positive. So within this space, our preferred bet would be Prestige State. This particular stock has also formed a kind of a replica to Nifty Realty space. and a good momentum can be seen recently. A high top and high bottom formation can also be seen. So we expect this counter to move towards 1600 kind of levels on the upside with a stop loss below 1475. Prestige can be bought. Apart from that, within large cap names, DLF is something that is also looking positive. It has crossed 200-day simple moving average. So DLF would be our preferred bet, another preferred bet within this space. And the upside seems to be open for 830 to 845. Stop loss can be placed below 795.
Okay, well, stay on, Nilesh. Let's talk about autos. The May auto sales are a mixed bag because while M&M, Eicher and TVS Motors outshone the rest of the pack, the ones that are coming with bad numbers have actually disappointed quite a bit. The good news though is that tractor sales have improved in May as well, maybe pointing to decent rural growth. Puneet breaks down the numbers for us.
So definitely more, it's kind of in a very mixed bag state, but a lot of companies have done well, which have done very, very well. But some like Tata Motors have really underperformed, and that's why we're calling it a mixed bag. But when you look at the two-wheeler makers, specifically TVS continues this very strong growth momentum, 17% YOY growth, and it's actually beaten estimates as well, led by the export market as well. The other key winner in the two-wheeler pack is, of course, Eicher Motors, a 26% growth in this particular month. Over the last 6 months, the company changed its strategy to focus on every month with increasing sales of over 80,000. They're now clocking almost 90,000 in sales and beating estimates again. The other two, when you look at Hero as well as Bajaj Auto, has been a slow month for Hero, while the month-on-month recovery is very strong. Specifically, YOY is just a 2% growth, and that is underscoring the slower growth in the entry-level segment. While for Bajaj as well, the domestic growth was only 2%, but the export growth was 19%, and hence the overall growth of 8% in terms of two-wheeler volumes. When you look at the passenger vehicles, again, it's quite a similar strategy to last month, where we spoke like Tata Motors. When you look at the four-wheeler space, if you can move on to the next graphic, it's down 11% on a YOY basis, and here is the key issue, because the company, despite launching a couple of new models in the smaller segment of Altroz and Tiago, it's not been able to gain market share in this particular time frame. But when you look at M&M, the story is completely different. Strong growth again in this particular year, up 21%, and it's actually beaten estimates. So the numbers, of course, this is for specifically for PV, and this number also includes LCV as well. That's why the divergence, but largely a very, very strong growth for the company. Finally, in terms of Maruti Suzuki and Hyundai, Maruti, of course, saving grace based on the export market of the company. Very, very strong growth in the export market, but the domestic again has been very, very slow for the company in this month. Rural sales haven't picked up yet, and that's visible in the numbers, while for Hyundai, it's 3% fall in terms of sales estimate, and here again, the domestic market is actually down 11%. Finally, in terms of tractors and commercial vehicles in CV, let's look at commercial vehicles first specifically. For Tata Motors, again in the CV space, it's nothing too much to talk about. It's a 14th month where the companies reported either flat or negative growth. But for VECV, which is the commercial vehicle arm of Eicher Motors, continuing its very strong momentum upwards of 7%. They've also mentioned new launches as well as increasing the small commercial vehicle segment has boded well for the company. And finally, in terms of Ashok Leyland as well, this might be, the stock might not be reacting that much today, but really strong growth because the MHCV sales have grown in at high single digit for the company. Overall, the small commercial vehicle segment is still showing some weakness, but the market will take this number with both hands. And in tractors, Escorts, while showing some growth in this particular month, has largely been slower. But Mahindra and Mahindra in the tractor space have continued a 10% growth in this particular month. For Escorts as well, they are more present in the northern belt, which is growing slightly slowly, but still showing at least a 1% growth. So overall, the three key winners will be Mahindra, Eicher, as well as TVS, and a surprise will largely be Ashok Leyland based on the MHCV sales.
In fact, we caught up with Nalinikant Kolagunta, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Mahindra Automotive, who is confident of having a strong growth this month. He also said that they are confident about sustaining the growth in FY26. Listen in.
So it's been a strong month for us, both on the SUV side, also on the LCV less than 3.5 ton. We did about 21% growth on the SUVs and about 8% growth on the LCV side. So strong month for us. The way I would put it is the demand for the portfolio continues to be quite strong. I think customers continue to find strong value proposition with the brands that we're putting it out there. And in some ways, that's held us in good stead over the past few quarters, I would say. So in May, in the analyst meet, we put out an expectation that our SUV volume growth for the year will be in the mid to high teens. So we are optimistic that we'll be able to measure up to that number, and high single digits for SUV under 3.5 tons. So again, we're quite optimistic on that front as well. And with these kind of numbers, of course, the main numbers for the other OEMs have not come out yet, but we are confident that this would be market-leading growth yet again.
Okay, so that's, of course, with regard to auto, and more, in fact, coming through with regard to auto. You've got Elon Musk Tesla, which will not manufacture in India. That's the word coming in from Minister of Steel and Heavy Industries, H.D. Kumaraswamy. He also said that India's flagship EV policy would be available to all global car makers. Listen in.
Government of India wanted to encourage big global car makers to manufacture electric vehicles in India. This is part of India's push for clean energy, local jobs, and economic growth. Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Skoda, then Hyundai, Kia. All these companies already shown interest.
So what about the Teslas and the VinFast and the pure EV makers that the policy was meant to attract?
Tesla, we are not actually expected from them. They have only to start 2 showrooms. They are not interested in manufacturing in India.
Okay, so of course that's the word coming in with regard to auto, and plenty happening in that space. In fact, I'm going to quickly pull out the Nifty Auto Index constituents. Some stocks flying on the back of that. You're seeing M&M nearly 2% in trade. Hero Moto is in fact down around 2%, or the Bajaj Auto is also down around 1% or so, along with Tata Motors. Nilesh, any of those names on your list, and is there a suggestion you have within that auto pack that you seem to like at this point?
See, only one stock that is in fact bucking the trend, that's Mahindra and Mahindra, and also looking like it is giving a good reversal candle today. In fact, if you look at other two-wheeler names that you've just pointed out, Hero, Bajaj, TVS, in fact, all these stocks are showing weakness, and we may see some consolidation with negative bias to continue out there. But Mahindra and Mahindra, we may see some follow-up move in this particular stock towards 3070, 3090, or maybe 3100 kind of levels can be seen. So buy and decline should be the strategy, can be accumulated as a positional bet as well. So 2925 should be the stop loss, and a long position can be initiated in a staggered manner.
Okay, Nilesh, thank you so much for that. We'll let you go on that note. Auto stocks, while in focus, not as much Zing. Let me bring on board Gurmeet Chadda, Managing Partner and CIO.